Hey everybody, Blugoblin here on behalf of Dark Avenger Inc. Plus. I'm here to catch up on my videos here, and I want to apologize to everybody at Dark Avenger Inc. Plus for being so far behind. But, you know, like I said, I had recently suffered a loss in my family, and it put me behind on my regular reviews on my channels. So, you know, I do apologize. But I'm here to try and catch back up. I was able to read these two issues of Ultimate Comics X-Men, and I'm here to review them here. And I also would like to apologize in advance if I accidentally slip out a few swear words in these reviews, because, you know, things are going on in this series right now that's kind of... Let me just put it like this. I don't agree with everything that's going on in here. Let me just say that. Now, first we're going to talk about Ultimate Comics X-Men, issue number 29. This is the beginning of World War X. I gotta say, I do like the cover. The cover is very nice. It's very creepy. It's very eerie and dark, and it paints a pleasant picture on what this story could give us. You know, it's just one of those kinds of covers, and it paints the picture very well. So I'll give it credit for that. Brian Wood is still doing the writing here. The artwork in here has taken a huge step upward, in my opinion. I loved the interior artwork in here. It's very well done. However, with that being said, this is called World War X for a reason. Now, call me crazy, but I kind of called this. You know, in the months of building this up, I kind of knew that this was going to happen sooner or later. I just partially didn't want it to. Now, let me explain what I mean by partially. This is the beginning of the so-called mutant war. And take a wild guess on who this is another... Wait a minute. Let me reword this. This is going to be another one of those events, but it's not a big spread out event. This is just a storyline in the Ultimate X-Men series. But this is going to be another story in which good guys are fighting good guys, and big shock, one of the teams of good guys is going to start acting like villains. Take a wild guess on who Marvel wants to play the villain. That's right. It's none other than Jean Grey. Bullshit. I hate this. I hate this concept. Why? I mean, it's bad enough. It is bad enough we've got a villain's... God, I can't even speak right now. I'm so angry. It's bad enough we have a villain Cyclops in the 616 universe. Why do we have to have a villain Jean Grey in the Ultimate universe? This is just atrocious. I don't get it. I really don't get it. I am praying. I am almost literally praying that later on down the line in this story we find out that there is someone actually pulling Jean Grey's strings to actually make her do the things she's doing in here. Because, oh my God, she has lost her mind. She has decided to fire off the first proverbial shot. And she has one of her lackeys, Firebird, launch the first attack against Utopia. This really is going to paint the picture of Jean being a villain and having the Utopia mutants come off as the underdogs. Now, I don't mind the Utopia mutants being the underdogs. That's what they've been ever since they started. But I hate the fact that they're making Jean a villain. I hate it. Because It's like the things she says in here is just, it's just unreal. She, even her own teammates that went to Tien with her, even they're questioning her actions. It's like, why are you doing this? And they're automatically assuming that Jean is only doing this because her pride was wounded or she got her feelings hurt. And I'm like, so what? People get their feelings hurt almost every day. I'm like, oh my god. Jean wanted the Utopian mutants to come to Tien with her and live in peace and everything. But they said no. Because why? That was their choice. They didn't want to leave. They already established a home there. So Jean's like, I'll wipe them all out. No! No, this is stupid! Jean is not only being portrayed as a villain, but she's coming off very bitter and very selfish. This is wrong. I hate this. The writing for the rest of the story was pretty good. The artwork was great, but this character twist to Jean is just ridiculous. I don't care. This, I'm gonna be honest, it is just flat out ridiculous. Like, how many mutants have to start acting like Magneto? I mean, is Marvel getting a personal kick out of this? Not to mention, the book ends on a cliffhanger with James Hudson, Wolverine's son, I guess basically betraying Utopia and going to Tien to be with Jean. You know, that moment would have been a much bigger shocker had Jean not been so twisted in this issue. But you think that's bad? Now let's go on to Ultimate Comics X-Men issue 30, part 2 of World War X. You think it... wait, before I start there, I give issue number 29 a 3 out of 5. Yes, Jean Grey's character is tragically and horrendously flawed, but the rest of the book did flow very well, so I'll give it credit. But man, they would have got a much higher score if they were to do something different with Jean. I feel like they just took the easy way out and just like, oh, just flip her heel. Just make her a bad guy. It's so lazy. They couldn't honestly think of anything else to do. It's like, oh, we saw what we did with Scott, just do that with Jean. So lazy, in my opinion. Now let's talk about issue 30. This, in my opinion, was even worse than issue number 29. Do not get me wrong. The interior artwork is still just solid. It is great. This is probably my favorite thing about these two issues is the artwork. But Jesus, I didn't think it would get worse than issue 29. Then I read this. What the hell, Marvel? Really? You're really going to go there? It's like Jean got even crazier with her selfishness, and she is acting flat out evil in this issue. And I mean, hell, even James Hudson, even Jimmy, pointed this out near the end of the book, saying when Jean made a worldwide broadcast proclaiming that whatever's going on between the mutants, we can handle it, talking about how great Tien is and how Utopia basically needs to be with them and all that stuff. James actually points out what I thought. That was, Jean going on the news and publicly displaying all of this baggage between the two mutant nations was one of the most cowardly acts that he's ever seen. Nothing but a desperate attempt to make herself look good and make the Utopian mutants look like trash. And he was right. That was very, very cowardly of Jean to do that. And it is so out of character. So out of character for me. I've been a fan of the Ultimate X-Men line for a long time. And yes, Jean has acted out of character before, but wow, this is a whole other step here. This was crap. The stuff that Jean says in here, the stuff that Jean does in here is just ridiculous. She controls all these drones that look like that look similar to the two beings that basically trained her at TN and everything, and they're nothing but drones. It's pointed out to Jean that she nearly killed the sentient seed that's basically growing around in Utopia. But it's a living being. And she doesn't think about that. She doesn't care. All she cares about is her nation and herself. And when Kitty's team of X-Men destroy these drones that Jean launched, she calls them murderers. What a hypocrisy is a funny thing, isn't it? This was crap. And not to mention, the other thing that bothered me in this issue was how quickly how just ungodly quick Kitty was willing to just abandon her pacifism to turn to a line of violence. You know, I knew that Jean was eventually going to break her, but I didn't expect it to happen this fast. It just seems it almost came out of nowhere. It's like, I will lead my mutants in a world of peace. We're being attacked. Fight them! You know, it just seems so awkward, so quick, so abrupt. It really didn't need to happen this fast. If you're going to have Kitty Pryde break her pacifism and turn to violence to solve things, you should have built that up a little bit more. Not just have it happen like that. This book was crap. I give it 2.5 out of 5. The only thing that saves it is the great artwork. Otherwise, it probably would have got a 1 or 2, 2 at best. Man, I don't like where this is going. The premise, the overall premise of what this could be sounds intriguing. I will give it that. But what they're doing with Jean just flat out insults me as a reader and as a fan. I don't like it. I don't like where this is going. You can call me a fan. You can call me an angry fanboy all you want. I don't care. I need to express my honest and brutally honest opinions at that. I don't like this. It just seems like the easy way out. When you're having a good guy versus good guy misunderstanding type of story, it's like, oh, one of them's got to act like villains. Make it Jean. They don't. It's like Marvel didn't care. They just said, make Jean look more evil. Make her a female Magneto. Oh, wait a minute. We already did that with Nomi Bloom, and that didn't really go anywhere. So now do it with Jean. She's a bigger name, so we'll do it with her. No, absolutely no. God, these issues could have been so much better than they actually were. At least issue 29 had the decency to start the story and build it up nicely. Then issue 30 just crapped. I mean, it just took a crap right on my floor when I read it. It was I don't even know what to say anymore. I'm done with these reviews. I'm sorry if I came off as a little more angry than I usually am when I'm on this channel, but I'm one of those people that if I feel insulted as a reader and as a fan, I'm gonna say something about it. And if I offended anybody who actually loved these issues, I do apologize. But I would not be me if I wasn't brutally honest. I'm not going to come on any YouTube channel. I'm not going to do any reviews and say this book was good and this book was awesome just because plenty of other people said it was. If you liked these issues, if you love where they're going with this, then that's fine. I got no beef with you. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion, and in my opinion, this story sucks so far. It has a good premise. It is very interesting on where they could go with this, but so far, I'm not liking it at all. Well, that's it for my reviews of issues 29 and 30 of Ultimate Comics X-Men, the first 2 parts of World War X. I apologize for the ranting and I apologize for the swearing. I really do apologize, but I tell it like it is, and that's part of who I am. I want to thank you all for watching. Please subscribe to this channel, Dark Avenger Inc. Plus. Don't forget about Dark Avenger Inc. Don't forget about my student at the Mount Vernon kid, one of my best friends in the world. Don't forget about my channels, Blugoblin01, Blugoblin X, Mark and Chloe at Fast Stack of Comics. I love you two guys. I love you guys. You're great. My friends, Deadpoolzilla, Brandon Hicks, everybody. And also give a shout out to my family at Arkham Comics and my girlfriend. Love you, baby. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and I'll see you all later.